Chapter 15. And I want to share a couple things in this simple thought. The vagaries of ministry. The vagaries of ministry. What is a vagary? We're told that a vagary is an unexpected change. Things are going normal, they're happening, and then suddenly, for some reason, things seem to change. Generally, a vagary is not necessarily something that is of a good nature. Sometimes it's a negative nature. But I don't know about you, sometimes you meet people along the way, you see people along the way, and they have so much promise at the beginning. Tell somebody at the beginning. At the beginning. They have so much promise at the beginning, and somewhere along the line they seem to lose their way. They seem to lose their way. And one thing that I've learned in this walk is that it is quite easy for all of us. Even in our Christian walk sometimes, we're still coming to church, but we're backslidden. Can I say that again? We're still coming to church, but we're backslidden. We're still involved in ministry, but we're backslidden. We're still going door to door, but we're backslidden. Why? Because it has absolutely nothing to do with the activity that you get involved in, but it's about who you are. And this morning I want to share just briefly from that thought. St. John chapter 15. I'm going to read from verse 9 down to about verse 17 or so. It says, reading from the New King James Version, "As the Father loved me, I also loved you. Abide in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love. Just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may remain in you, and that your joy may be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no man than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends. You are my friends if you do whatever I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for a servant does not know what his master is doing. But I have called you friends, for all things that I heard from my Father I have made known to you." Verse 16 says, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give you. These things I command you, that you love one another." Father, this morning I thank you for your word. I pray, God, even as I share your word, that you would be in the midst of it. Father, speak directly to the hearts of your children, God. This is not just a word for our Reverend Felton, God. This is a word for every single person here who considers themselves a minister. And God, you've called us all to ministry. So as long as we are a believer, God, this morning this is for us. Bless it, Lord God, to us as we partake. In Jesus' name. Amen. One of the greatest challenges that ministers operate under is consistency. Can I say that again? Consistency. You see, it is all right, to pass the nurse for the congregation to go through motions. Sometimes they want to come to church and they come to church. There are times when they don't feel like coming to church and they don't come. A pastor does not have that opportunity. Because whether or not it is raining, he's still coming. She's still coming. Whether or not they feel above or under the weather, they're still coming. Whether they feel to or not, they're still doing it. The pastor does not get the opportunity to say, when asked about ministry, I can pray about it. That was the ouch moment. The pastor does not get the opportunity to think about if I'm going to get involved this year. So the pastor therefore needs at all points in time, the ones who are called by the Lord to do pastoral ministry need what we understand to be consistency. Not just consistency in action, so that I know what you're doing and I'm able to come to church, or whether or not I'm at church or not, I know when you're going to be preaching, I know when some service is going to be happening, I know, not that kind of consistency, but consistency first and foremost in character. Not a wishy-washy kind of character, a person who has integrity, a person who understands their call and is walking in holiness as unto the Lord. Listen, before you step into this kind of ministry, you could have made mistakes. And you could have said, you know, well, this body made mistakes in it, and that body. But for some reason, when you step into this call, there is a holy calling on your life. And you're not living unto yourself anymore. So you're not living unto the flesh. You're not living according to the flesh. You're not living according to the desires. Paul said to Timothy, flee also youthful lust. God understood the importance of walking away from sin when you have a high calling on your life. So consistency of character is important, but let me dare not make you feel that I'm only talking about sexual behavior and those kind of things. But when it comes to dealing with the church's money, when it comes to dealing with people, and the way you treat people, and the way you carry on people, you got to understand that is just as important. One thing the Lord once said to me, and I've always lived by it, these people are not your people, they are my people. Therefore, we understand consistency not just according to actions and things that we do in church, but we understand it according to first and foremost character. So you're talking to somebody and you're saying, well, I know Pastor Batson. And the person said, well, the person that you're describing, I don't seem to know. Because it's not consistent with the behavior and the operations that you see. Yes. Come on, sometimes you're doing a funeral service and the biggest lie in the church is the person who's doing the eulogy. Because what they're saying right now about how nice they were and how they this and they that, and sometimes they get a service at your church before they go over to the other church, and you hear they were what? Confirmed and baptized in holy water. And you there saying that rum drinker? My God. Because consistency seems to evade us as believers. Oh, let me tell you, sometimes you walk into their workplace, Pastor, and when you walk into their workplace, there are several people who don't know them as Christians. So you step into the workplace and you say, do you know brother so-and-so? Brother? If he's going to church, I don't know. Listen, they say, if those people that's going to church, don't worry, sometime the roof will fall up on their head. Because they know the real you. We know the sanctified looking you. The hallelujah you. The praise the Lord you. The jump around you. And as we were singing turn around, somebody said, I wish your behavior would turn around. I wish your attitude would turn around. I wish your character would turn around. So consistency seems to evade us. We are here today, and tomorrow for some reason we seem so far down. The Bible tells us about King Saul. King Saul was called and anointed by God. Come on, don't be fooled. King Saul was called and anointed by God. But King Saul did not understand consistency. He started well, but he didn't finish well. Believers, I pray that everybody sitting here today will understand the importance of finishing well. It isn't just about the start, but the finish is equally important. In fact, I'm telling you this, if you ever watch a race, there are times when a man may be pitching up to 80 meters, and then for some reason, there's something that steps in and causes him to propel past, and he runs and he wins the race. Why? Because he didn't take for granted the finish line. We can't take for granted the finish line. We can't take for granted the finish line. You've got to be able to finish strong. The Apostle Paul was able to finish strong. Yes. Yes. I've fought a good fight. I have finished. I have kept the faith. How many of you in these changing times will hold on to an unchanging God and say, Lord, I don't care what's happening around me. I don't even care what's happening on the inside of me. But God, in this season, I intend to finish strong. It is my intent by the grace of God. I love all the accolades. I love the things that people say. And in September, all people, they were all, Bishop, I'm so happy for you. And all those things. But that will never get to my head. Why? Because there is a greater anointing for greater things. And I intend to finish strong. Come on. You see, the problem with Saul was this. Saul was chosen based on his prowess, not his character. Can I say it again? Saul was chosen based on his abilities and his prowess, but not on his character. When God chose David, the first thing that we recognize is Scripture tells us that David was immediately a man after God's own heart. He said, listen, man may look at the outward appearance, but God looks on there. God is interested in our heart. Can I say this to those who are involved in ministry? It isn't all about what you do. It is about who you are. That's what's most important. Because let me tell you this. You may think you are the best here at Bridgefield. Go someplace else and you are no longer the best. But as long as you are doing it from a pure heart, God will put you in places that mere ability cannot put you. God will place you before kings and before queens, because not just because you can sing well, not just because you can preach well, but because your heart is after God's heart. So the first thing he declares is this: I have not chosen. You have not chosen, but I have chosen. The first vagary of ministry is self-providence. Self-providence. Where we believe that we have the right to self-appoint. And we do it based on our own internal, some thermometer on the inside of there that believes, listen, there is nobody here, including me, that has the ability or the right to hold on to ministry as long as I like, as long as I please. When God is finished with you, God is finished with you. You have to get to the place where you're willing and able to say, God, whenever my season is finished, let me walk out gracefully. Sinners, God allowed you to raise this up. But God will allow some other person to carry the cross. You've got to know. You've got to know your season. You got to know and operate in your season. Because when your season is finished, the anointing that is commensurate for the season is also gone. I've heard it over the years. I'm going to die in my boots. Not me. Not me. I'm going to lay down when God tells me to lay down. I'm going to bring it to a close when God tells me to bring it to a close. I dare not jump in God's face and tell God anything about dying in my boots. Because trust me, He will surely make sure it happens. So you've got to understand that self-providence has no place in Scripture. When David came on the scene, before David was king, he was already anointed. And Saul could not see it. He could not understand it. Therefore, it became difficult for him to let go.
Come on, Pastor. Come on, Bishop.
Come on. When I was younger, just this week I shared this illustration with the group that we have at Bible school. When I was younger, I remember this. I was on the relay team a couple pounds ago. I remember when you were running, turning around, you can tell you were on the relay team. You hear stick. And when you say stick, you're supposed to receive the baton. But it makes absolutely no sense if when you hear stick and you put your hand to receive the baton, that you're still holding it. Is the intent for both of us to run across the line together? No, that's not how God created it. When it is your time to say stick, let it go. Some of you are holding on to ministries, in your opinion, because they ain't got nobody else. The devil is a liar. Let God have baton, and let me tell you, somebody's going to crop up. Somebody's going to start. Listen, I want to tell you this. In relay, you start at your slowest point. But after a while, you start to accelerate. By the time you get to the next person, you're still running fast. So you don't have to worry about anybody. Well, you know, the harvest is plenteous, but the laborers are few. And you're holding on for 30-something years. until somebody comes. And the ministry is going down and down and down and down. And the women struggling because of you. And the men's ministry struggling because of you. I don't know anything, but the pastor speak to me. And the school dwindling because of you. Because you're holding on until somebody comes. And what is happening all the time is that until that somebody comes, you are frustrating people because you're frustrated too. Can I say amen? Say ouch. You are frustrated, so you're holding on to it and frustrating everybody else too. You started sweet with a sweet spirit. Now you're bitter, bitter, bitter. People can't talk to you anymore. Can't say anything to you anymore. You're always ready to snap at them. Because you should have let go of it a long time ago. Slap somebody and say, let go. Let go. And let God do whatever He has to do. The other vagary of ministry is that which is called self-preservation. So we have self-providence. We feel we call ourselves. Self-preservation. We look out for ourselves. We get into it for what we believe is on offer. Somebody down or up the road is a pastor and they got a big ride. So you feel now big ride's knocking out. So I could get a big ride too. So you were called, Minister Thomas, but you use the sheep for your personal gain. You did what the old people used to call fleece the sheep. If a sheep is fleeced all year long, the sheep is quite capable of dying in the off season. The fleece is a protective layer, and you fleece the sheep all the time. Now if you sing down there and say, I tell you so nice, but don't pay attention, the devil is a liar. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about this kind of anointing. That's right. You know, as I was sitting there, the Lord spoke to me. And He said to me, there is an anointing in the house for $100. I need all those who sense the anointing to come and line up. Bring your $100. You may not have it right now, but write your name down at the back. Leave your name with the ushers and come. And you're struggling. They know you're struggling. They know you came to the church 2 weeks ago and asked to pay a bill. But they're still trying to take off the rest of the fleece. They ain't even leaving the ground. Nothing. Fleece you clean. And we call it the anointing of the prophet. The anointing of the prophet. And we spiritualize it. Remember the woman? She didn't have anything. But a little oil. And who she gave first? The man of God. We spiritualize it. We say all kind of things. When the real focus is just to ensure that we are good. Can I tell you this? Your preservation is not your interest. God will take care of you. As long as you faithfully do what God has called you, God will take care of you. There are times when you may be going through financial issues, but God will still take care of you. You may be out of a secular job and don't know where you're going to get the next thing from, but God will still take care of you. I have never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging for bread. He is our Jehovah Jireh, and he will take care of you. Be not dismayed, whatever be time. God will take care of you. In every way, God will. Hallelujah. Ministry is not for money making. It's not to peddle. You don't invite me to preach and I tell you how much money you have to pay me. The devil is a liar. Anytime anybody were to do that to me, you can guarantee you will not grace my pulpit. Because it's not about us. God will take care of it. Somebody lift your hands right here you are. You might be going through a financial issue. You might be going through a struggle financially. In fact, you might not just be going through a struggle, but you might need some money for a new project, for something big. Listen, lift your hands and declare it in this place. God, you will take care of me. Declare it in this place. Declare it in the face of the enemy. God, you will take care of me. I'm not dependent on the economy. I'm not dependent on the prime minister or anybody from IMF. God will take care of me. Come on, it's not worth to take our dependence off of man. It's not worth to take our dependence off of a paycheck or a monthly salary. It's not worth to take our dependence off of that and put our dependence back on our Jehovah Jireh, who is able to provide. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'm telling you this thing before we move off of this point. I'm telling you this. The day that you take your dependence off of God, He's going to step back in the background. No. He's going to step back in the background. Because if you can do it without God, you go ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead. Oh, yes, Lord. If you can do it without God, you go ahead. But my dependence is on God. Every single thing I need. In fact, no, He will provide. One songwriter says He's already provided. He's already provided. Somebody lift your hands. He's already provided. Everything I need, He's already provided. In fact, provision, the word provision, pro means for, vision, for the vision. God will provide. God will give you everything you need for the vision that is in your life. Also tells me, if you're visionless, don't expect His provision. If you don't have a vision, don't expect His provision. Because his provision is for every single thing you need. But I hastily close this little thought. I want to say this before we move on. It is a dangerous thing to try to be self-made. And there are some of us who dare to play at the end of our days, I did it my way. I did it my way. But one of the greatest vagaries of ministry is self-direction. And I close on this point. The day that you decide you will dictate how your life goes and how everything pans out is the day that you are asking for trouble. You don't put your hands in and out of God's hand. You don't put your life in and out of God's hand. When you put your life in God's hand in ministry, you've got to depend on God to take you directly through. So you don't run because it's getting difficult.
No.
You don't run because it's getting difficult. You don't run and say, well, the way the people accepted my mother, they're not accepting me. In ministry, there is no escape route for you. When you are called, you are called. So those who have been resigning because of the pressures of work and resigning because things ain't happening and all of that, and know that God has called you, you better make it right. If you go to a workplace, and you are hired by the workplace, you don't write your resignation letter to the janitor. Hello? You don't write your resignation letter to a supervisor. You go right to the top of the string. So when you are considering resigning from ministry, you better take it right to the top. When you decide you're done with that, and you're going back down there, you better write it right up there. To God. Listen, ain't enough to write it to the pastor. Every time you write it to the pastor, think, well, okay, the pastor is working on behalf of God. I wonder how God reading this when I write it. Some of you struggle to write it because you know you're called. Some of you fuss with writing it because you know you're called. And you walked away from ministry. Some of you are penning it and you sat down and you say, you know what? I can't resign from this thing. I can't resign from this thing because them miserable people ain't call me. They ain't call me. Them difficult people ain't call me. It is God who has called me. But he didn't only choose me, but he also appointed me. Listen, it is all right to be holding on. Today, our Reverend Felton, he's not going to be holding on because I didn't only call him and tell him, but I also have an appointment letter. Which means now it is a process to get out of the appointment. So he ain't holding on. He can't pick up the phone and call and say, well, Bishop, you know it was holding on a little too long now. You ain't find somebody yet. His mother did that because she was dead. She saw me and said, well, Bishop knows that was holding on long. But when they come and do the service. She can do that, but he can't do it because he is not only called, he's not only chosen, but he is appointed. You know what appointment from God is? An appointment from God says, this is my man for the season. Come quickly. This is my man for the season. And listen, God appoints and God also disappoints. God is the one who has the ability to put up, and God is the one who has the ability to pull down, to tear down. And when God says, this is your season, I have appointed you for this season, there's no devil in hell. There's no devil in hell that could disappoint. You are called for this season. There's some of you who are called for this season. You gotta walk in your season. You gotta understand your season and walk in your season. Because if you miss your season, I'm telling you this, it's going to get hard. It's going to be trying. If you miss your season, never ever allow the devil to trick you into trying to resign from ministry. Hear God and what God is saying.
Amen.
You see, the problem with Christianity is this. We like to get up all in our feelings. All up in your feelings. All up in your feelings. Especially in Pentecostal churches. Because we operate a lot on feelings. Oh, feelings. I tell them already, I remember when I was younger and there was a spray deodorant called Feelings. Listen, and you used to spray on feelings when you leave the house. And by the time you walk down the gap where the bus stop, hey, Mr. Smith, you spray back on. Because feelings are fleeting. Feelings, there are times when you will be discouraged. Elijah had one of the greatest victories and found himself under the juniper tree. But the question asked to Elijah was, what are you doing here?
Hallelujah. Yes, Lord. Hallelujah.
What are you doing here?
Hallelujah.
But God, you know, that's the only body. And God, you know, that's the only boy who's get down there. And that's the only body. All up in your feelings. You think 37 years, you could have gotten your feelings? Well, you probably would have lost 7. This is not the season to get wrapped up in feelings, because there's enough to cause us to fear. There's enough to cause our hearts to grow faint. There's enough for us to be afraid of and petrified in the economy and anxious and all these kind of things. There's enough for us to get discouraged. But you got to get to the place in your walk where you understand who has called you. You are not self-made. You are called, chosen, appointed by God. And whatever God calls you to, He's going to provide everything that you need. One writer says, faithful is He who calls, who also will do it. Come on. That is the greatest guarantee that I've ever heard. You call me to do something and you will also do it. There's absolutely no reason for us to fear in this season. But for some reason I feel to remind you again. There's some of you who are laying in your faith in ministry. One of the saddest things that I've been seeing over the years, and one of the things that I've been recognizing is happening in these recent days, is that everybody now is stepping back from ministry. Yesterday we had the opportunity to choose our council. And I want to say here at this church, our council was elected. I have 114 ministers in Church of God. 114 ministers in Church of God. 40 odd pastors across this island. And 9 people gave in their names for consideration to choose 6. thing about it, it was my intent to go with 8 because the work is great. I wanted to do a lot more and be able to accomplish a lot more, a lot sooner. 6 people out of 114. 9 put forward their names. Here are some of the excuses. Well, I'm going to step back and let some of the younger people go forward. Well, you know, I never really considered it. Who call it ministers like so they never considered highest office? You know, at that point in time, I felt like if I were just going to take the wheel. I would go, give me that you man. Because one of the things that you have to be very careful with is that you're not just doing it for the prestige or the position. Somebody looked at me and said, well, to tell the truth, I became a minister so I will have a voice. They were dumb before. I know they're another kind of dumb. I'm saying this to you. If in this season you can't see yourself fitting into what God is doing, something is wrong. Something is wrong. Oh, in these last days, the last days that we are in, the last days. Is it because we don't understand it? We probably need to preach more of those messages and start preaching and those shall be blessed messages. We probably need to remind people that we are in the last days. Which means when you're in the last days, everybody got to put their hands to the plow. How many are building construction here? Anybody here? The people in building construction. You tell me if I'm lying. The most difficult thing in a building project is the finishes. It takes the most money, time, effort, skill. You don't want to envision something and when you turn up, you say the same thing. But I didn't quite $100,000 later. So you choose the very best finishers. But even if it costs you a little bit more money, you can bring in as many finishers as you possibly can. Because you want to make sure that the work looks good. You want to make sure it looks good. And the thing about this thing is that even sometimes after you spend all that money on the finishing, it feels as though it never rained. You always do something extra and something extra. And as they're doing, you recognize, listen, you need people. Pastors need people. Oh, yes. We need people to do the work of the Lord. If you've handed in your resignation or you were thinking about it, you better stop and pause. Because literally what you are telling the Lord is, I don't intend to be a part of what you're doing in the end times. Bishop, I understand what you're saying, you know, that I still might do my little ministry at work. That's what the devil would like all of us to believe. The task is great. And we've got to all put our hands to the plow in this season. God does not just want your talent, He wants your ministry. There's a difference. He does not just want your talent, He wants your ministry. And He needs every single person here to find a place. Every head bowed and every head closed in this place.